You made a definitive claim that you are convinced that you've seen evidence that Donald Trump sexually assaulted a child. Do you think if the evidence in the Epstein files are merely the picture that we've all seen at a party one time with Trump with Epstein and Trump flying on a plane one time with Epstein, is that enough proof for you that Donald Trump sexually assaulted a child? Yes or no? This is it. If the first fucking word out of your mouth isn't yes or no, you're gone forever.
I didn't make that claim, by the way. Okay, Rob, you're arguing against a position.
Damn.
It's real.
So Rob Noerr debating a lefty here. Let's see how this goes down. It's called Debating Liberals is Like Pulling Teeth. This is from Normal America with Rob Noerr. If you guys aren't subscribed to him already, I urge you subscribe to his channel. Rob Noerr is a beast when it comes to debating. He's also a good dude. He's doing this full time now. He's part of the crew. He has recently joined the Crucible crew. He's doing this full time. And let's help him out, guys. So let's check out him debating this liberal right here, this Libtardio.
I'm doing well, Rob. How are you today?
Good. Did you vote for Joe Biden?
That doesn't matter as much as the point I'm making. The point I'm making.
You can make an argument. That's fine. Everyone's going to say, of course, it's expected that you'll make an argument. But you can address the question first. My question is, did you vote for Joe Biden?
Everybody votes with the.
That's not an answer to the question. Why don't you give a yes or a no?
Yeah.
And then you can expound. Did you vote for Joe Biden?
Why can't you answer that?
I chose the lesser of two evils, like many people do. Like many people do.
I noticed once more that wasn't an answer to the question. So I'll ask the question again. Did you vote for Joe Biden? Then you can explain your decision, but go ahead.
I made the decision to vote for the lesser. What everybody.
I notice again that wasn't an answer to the question. Now, someone who's arguing in good faith would say something like this. Yes, I voted for Joe Biden because I thought it was the lesser of two evils. What they wouldn't do is refuse to answer the question and then allow us to try to draw implicit sort of what you're trying to say without saying it so that you could weasel out later if I pin you to it. So I'll ask you the question again. Did you vote for Joe Biden?
Yes, like many people do. I voted for the lesser of two evils. What everybody does is based on the information that they have. And yeah, I voted for Joe Biden just because I thought he was the lesser of the two evils. But
see, why was that so hard to say? Why couldn't he just say that? Why couldn't he just be like, yes, from the beginning? Why did he try to weasel? I voted for the lesser of two evils.
But now the point I'm making is that there's a difference in supporting someone with, making fun, making light of a situation. And not only that, you're elevating Trump and promoting these songs, especially after the recent news that was released. You're doing more than what I suggest, which is condemn it, or you can even stay neutral. But you're going beyond that. You're supporting, even in light of the the recent news.
What news?
The Trump being on Epstein's files.
So just to be clear, everyone who's on the files, anyone who ever is in any of those files, even if it's just they saw him at a public party, they rode in the plane once, all of them are, in your words, I'll be careful for terms of service, but you're saying that those people have committed the most grotesque sexual abuses against children, every single one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I would do it.
Well, I'll tell you. So let me explain the difference between me and you. I don't think that anyone who's on anything that's in any of those paperworks committed those abuses. I don't believe Trump did that. But I'll ask you now that I've answered. So therefore, I don't think that I'm a monster supporting someone that I believe engaged in those heinous actions. I think we could all see that no proof of that has been offered whatsoever, despite what your personal feelings will be. But now I answered your question, or I answered your point. I'll ask you a question now, a little quid pro quo. Did you believe that Joe Biden committed heinous sexual crimes against children like his daughter, and that it was strongly suggested so from the sniffing of children? Did you believe that?
I mean, first let me differentiate between being in picture.
Yeah, the thing is that we have photo and video evidence of Joe Biden sniffing children. It's so creepy. And then his own daughter wrote in those diaries about how she used to shower with Joe Biden when she was like, it wasn't even like, oh, she was a baby or like even a toddler or something. No, like she was like, I mean, that would still be weird, but like, she was like a teen, like a preteen, I think. Like, that is unreal.
pictures with someone and being on a list on a flight log and being on these Epstein
Why
files.
can't you? Why can't
I
you
was
answer? Why
also
can't you answer the question and then
I
go
Yeah,
back to making
wanted
the
to
exactly.
point?
clear up.
That's sort of the nature of a quid pro quo, right? So you answer the question that I just offered, and then you could say, "Now I would go back to my line of questioning." That seems eminently fair. So again, did you believe that Joe Biden? We had, for example, the diary of his daughter saying that he was inappropriate with her sexually in showers, which damaged her for life. We saw public evidence of him being inappropriate with children, including uncomfortably sniffing their hair, etc. Behavior when he did it to adult women, he later admitted, and it was accused of being tantamount to sexual harassment. He admitted that.
Or even when he would allow like children at the pool or whatever to play with like his leg hairs or something, or his arm hairs or something. Like, remember, it's like, oh, like the water beads would be on his leg hairs, and the kids would go up and like rub his leg hairs. Like, what the hell? That's fucking weird.
That he needed to change for the better. So, did you believe the stories about Joe Biden and that he was possibly a monster in a sexual way with children? Did you believe that?
I just wanted to clear up my stance.
Can't even
But
answer.
I mean, again, we'll mute you here for a second, and I'll ask you again. Obviously, I'm going to give you time unfettered, just like I did with your last point. I'm going to allow you to have time unfettered. I think that it's eminently fair that you get to make a point or ask a question. I leave you do that, and then you
'Cause he knows he
respond
can't
when I ask
defend
you a
it.
question. I don't think
He
that's
knows,
unreasonable.
like, he has
So
to
I
know he's
again
in the
ask the
wrong for
question: did you
believing these
believe the
things.
stories like Ashley Biden's story and the images that you can see in real time of Joe Biden being sexually aggressive towards children? Did you believe that? Yes or no? And then you can expound on your answer.
I'm not going to defend what Joe Biden did. No, but
I noticed once more that you didn't answer the question. You saying that you're not defending what Joe Biden did is a complete non sequitur to the specific question I asked. It seems that you have an inability to directly respond to a question. Now, that seems to me to be indicative of either one, very low intelligence on your part, or second, that you're being bad faith and that you know that the answer you give could be used to interrogate you as you've sought to interrogate me. I open myself out there and say exactly what I believe. I would expect if you have a criticism of me based on my beliefs, that you would do me the same courtesy if you're calling in. I will ask you once more the question. Did you believe that Joe Biden was inappropriate with children in a sexual manner based on the stories that were out before, based on the stories of him in his daughter's diary and the images we could see of how he was behaving with children? You can answer with a yes, no, and then expound. Not, I'm not supporting what Joe Biden did. That's not an answer.
said I'm not going to defend him. I mean, that's basically the same answer. Me not defending him is me saying
That's not the same answer. It's not even close to the same answer. That would be like if you asked me, do you believe what Trump did these horrible abuses to children? I say, I don't defend Trump. That's not an answer. You would say, okay, but I'm not getting, are you saying that you believe Trump did this? You understand that? That's why I'm asking you, do you believe that Biden did that shit? Yes or no?
do I believe that Joe Biden, sniffed kids? I mean, it's on. There's footage, so of course I believe yes. And do I think it's inappropriate? Yes.
That wasn't the question that I asked. I asked, given the evidence that we saw, including evidence from his daughter, right, that said that he was inappropriate with her in a sexual nature while taking showers that damaged her sexually for life, and in conjunction with that evidence that saw that he was inappropriate with behavior that with adults we said was sexual. Did you believe that he committed similar horrible sexual abuses against children that you're claiming you believe about Donald Trump? That's the question, not do I believe he sniffed kids? If you don't think he did, say no. I don't believe he did those things. See how easy it is?
You asked about both situations.
But he knows that he did. Like, that's wild. Like, he knows Joe Biden is probably guilty of all these things. I mean, there's harder evidence that Joe Biden did these things than Donald Trump doing anything nefarious on Epstein Island. Like, just because Donald Trump is on some log or something like that doesn't mean he was up to anything nefarious. There's a lot of people that dealt with Jeffrey Epstein that probably didn't do anything heinous on the islands. So, I mean, yeah, like it doesn't really mean much. Now, if you have hardcore evidence he was on the islands or something like that, video footage, photography footage, some kind of testimony from several of the girls on there that were there, then yeah, that would be a different story. But with the Joe Biden stuff, I mean, we've seen him sniff children. We've seen him, his own daughter wrote about it in her diary. Why would she make that up? That's crazy. Why would she say that about her own father? I mean, I guess it's possible, but these were in her diaries that she never expected to be released. It wasn't like she put this out there. She wrote this for herself that she never thought would see the light of day. So why would she just write that in there? Like, you know? So you can't even say, well, she's lying for attention or something, or false accusations. Like, no, she wrote this for herself. And then, like I said, the stories about, you know, oh, the kids would pet my hairs on my legs and stuff. It's weird shit.
Him sniffing kids and his daughter bathing with him or whatever. Now, yes, like I fully condemn him doing both of those things, but there's a huge difference.
That wasn't the question. You condemning isn't whether or not you believe that they happened. Do you believe he committed sexual abuses against children? Yes or no? Why is it so hard for you to answer this?
I think there's a big difference in somebody, a parent bathing with their child, and somebody actually, you know, having sexual intercourse on a private island and being associated.
I noticed that you didn't answer the question once more. We'll give you one last chance, and then we'll be happy to see you go. Do you believe that he committed sexual abuses against children? Yes or no?
Sniffing is, I guess you can consider.
You're on your way out. You're on your way out. I just want to let you know you're once more equivocating and not answering.
I'm answering the question. Sniffing, I guess, can be argued that yes, it can be abusive. You know, I'll give you
That's
that.
not what
sure.
he asked.
I'll
He
give
said,
that
do you
concession.
believe that it happened?
But
right?
I don't think
that wasn't the.
That wasn't the question.
I'm going to be generous and give you one last chance here. One last chance. I didn't just say sniffing, did I? I know that you're trying to downplay it. I see that you're trying.
They have to. They have to downplay it.
Do you believe he committed sexual abuse?
How can you believe this stuff? Like, how can you buy into this? Like, how can you sit there and be like, oh, yeah, you know, the sniffing, excuse me, the sniffing and the daughter stuff, that's horrible, but Trump worse. Like, I mean, that's like a tell, like there's a deep brainwashing there. Deep brainwashing when you could still sit there and be like, but Donald Trump bad. Orange Man's still bad, though. Orange Man's still worse.
Abuses against children. I outlined two specific scenarios. There, he left. There you have it. Now, the difference between me and X is he just admitted that he believed that there was some sexual abuses that Joe Biden committed against children, which he believed, and he voted for him. Unlike me, I do not believe that Donald Trump committed sexual abuses against children. And so the monster is that guy. Imagine being a guy that fully believed, saw evidence with your own eyes that you thought that Joe Biden was sexually abusing children in some way and said, I'm still going to vote for him. Yeah. And then having the balls to accuse other people of behaving like him. The reason that X thinks that anyone that would have fun with the Trump Elon song must think that they're supporting sexual abuses against children is because that's what X did. That's what he did. He voted for it. And then he ran like a bitch. He said, should be an easy win. That's what he said. Now,
should be an easy win. This is going to be a cakewalk. Wow. That is funny.
Did I give him a long chance to talk after he answered my initial question? Yep. Then he was incapable of answering the second question. How hard would this have been? No, I don't think he did commit those abuses. While he may have made children feel uncomfortable, I don't feel that he committed. See how hard that would have been? But no, he couldn't do it. Because the truth is, X wants to cover up for the fact that he knowingly voted for someone that, in his own words, believed committed sexual abuses against children. Then he ran away like a bitch once he was being exposed for the monster he is. So just know, when these people say, ugh, what's his proof, by the way? Then he tried to equivocate. Well, actually, you know, what Biden did, what I saw with my own eyes, what Biden did, that's not as bad as Trump having intercourse with children. Can you show me the proof of that? Can you show me that? Anyone? Can anyone show me the proof of that? Why do these dumbasses try to call in here? Don't they know they're just going to get embarrassed? Hello, Matt. Triple X or quadruple X, same dude?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. I'll ask the question again. We can start where we left off. Do you believe that Joe Biden, given the evidence that we talked about that you could publicly see, engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children?
Again, there's a big difference in...
I noticed once more that you were incapable of answering the question. You could equivocate afterwards. The question I asked you was very simple. I'll ask again. Do you believe that Joe Biden engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children? Yes or no? And then you could equivocate.
Yes.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, it's inappropriate to bathe with your daughter when she's, you know, whatever age she was, 13, 14, whatever age it was. but you're ignoring the blatant.
but you're ignoring that orange man bad, Rob. You're ignoring that orange man bad. Yes, Joe Biden showered with his 13, 14-year-old daughter. Yes, and it ruined her, completely damaged her. Yes. But you know what? Orange man bad, Rob. Don't you know that? Don't you know how bad orange man is?
Whataboutism that you're doing here to pivot away from the blatant misconduct with underage.
But where's the proof of that, dude? Where is the proof? Again, we have evidence of the Joe Biden stuff. Donald Trump just being associated with Jeffrey Epstein, that's not enough proof. There's been a ton of people associated with Jeffrey Epstein that had nothing to do with what happened on the island. So again, unless you have further proof, the same as Joe Biden, like how can you sit there and say that? TDS.
With people who aren't your children. I'm not saying that it's okay to abuse your children, but I'm saying that there's a big difference.
That's his argument.
And
that's really his argument. Oh, it's one thing to be inappropriate with your own children. Donald Trump was inappropriate with other people's children. That's worse. Is that really the best this guy can do? Jeez.
Bathing with your daughter, somebody who isn't a stranger, who isn't, again, I'm not condoning, bathing with your children at such a advanced age, but there may be, some mental challenges with, I don't know the Biden family, I don't know if his daughter.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know about Joe Biden's family. He doesn't know, but he knows Donald Trump was inappropriate, was doing heinous things on Epstein Island. Though he knows that, he knows that for sure. But he doesn't know what the dynamics were with the Biden family. That he doesn't know. It's not like he was there.
Daughter had some kind of mental acuities, or I'm just trying to point out that there's a big difference in the family dynamics that could be going on, and versus going to an island with a known file and engaging in sexual activities.
Hey, real quick, don't use that word because it could violate TOS. I'm not accusing you of doing it on purpose, but just be careful about using that particular word. That's why people say things like PDF. That's all. But go ahead, you can finish your point. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Thanks. For the reason that I bring this up is that you're just blatantly pivoting away from any misconduct that Trump maybe.
It sounds like you're a little bit of projection there, X or whatever your name is. X. We'll just call him X. It sounds a little bit of projecting. It sounds like you're pivoting away from the things that we've seen Joe Biden do, like the hard evidence that we have of Joe Biden being inappropriate with underage children, to go with Trump bad. This guy is just upset that Rob Noerr isn't coming on his channel every night and being like, hey, isn't Orange Man bad? Guys, don't forget Orange Man bad, because that's what X likes to hear. That's the entertainment that X is into. He likes listening to Jon Stewart. He's the one that watches the Jon Stewart and call, yep, Orange Man bad, yep. He's one of those people. So when you have Rob here actually spitting facts, telling the truth, oh, well, he can't stand it. He's like, well, why aren't you focusing more on how Orange Man bad, Rob? Like, what the hell?
Maybe involved in. The whataboutism is kind of it's silly in my opinion, because like I said, there's a big difference in what Biden has done. Yes, sniffing children is not okay. It's not cool. But yeah, I mean, I think a majority of the public would say that it is inappropriate, but the other half would say that,
man, the hoops that this dude is trying to jump through in order to justify his beliefs, like, this is insane. Like, this is the logic that they have to go through, like the mental gymnastics that is going on in their head right now to try to justify why they feel the way they do. like at some point, when do you just go, yeah, you know what? I was fucking wrong. Biden sucked. Biden was a creep. And you know what? Maybe Orange Man isn't so bad. I'm still not a big fan of Orange Man, but maybe he isn't so bad as I thought. Like at one point, do you just stop trying to do the gymnastics and the flips and the handsprings and all that stuff, and just stop and go, hey, wait a minute, what am I trying to do here? What am I doing? Just what am I doing? Why do I have to do these back handspring flips and all this double entendres or whatever they're called, whatever the flippity floppities and called in gymnastics? Why am I doing this? Well, Joe Biden just sucked, and Orange Man isn't so bad.
No, it's not actual abuse. It's not actual. It's inappropriate, definitely. But whether it crosses over to abuse is it's up for debate. And I think, and if you were to poll the public, I think people would say that yeah, there's levels to it. There's still a difference here.
Okay. First off, it doesn't matter what the public would say. You already conceded that you feel that this was inappropriate sexual behavior with children. So it doesn't matter what the rest of the world thinks. You yourself saw a man, Joe Biden, engaged in inappropriate sexual behavior with children, and you still chose to support him and vote for him. The difference between you and me is I do not believe that Donald Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual behavior with children. So before we get to what proof we have against Donald Trump, I want to ask you, is your argument that when you voted in 2020, you knew that you saw proof that Trump was, quote, in the Epstein files? Is that what your claim is?
Not proof, but I did see, the images of Trump partying with Epstein. I saw, the possibility that he was on a flight log. I saw that, he bragged about grabbing women by the pussy or by the, P word.
That's not even that whole grab them by the P word, as he puts it. That's not even true. That's not even what he said. He didn't go around going, I like to grab him by the P word. That's what I like to do. And I like to do the best type of grabbing. Okay. It's the best. They love it when I do it. They say, oh, grab it again, Donald. That's not what he said. He was joking around. It was the type of locker room banter that guys engage in. And he was making the point that when you're famous, girls will let you, like women will let you do whatever because you're famous and they want to be with famous men. That's what he was saying. And he was saying, yeah, they let you do anything. Obviously he was joking. It wasn't an admission that what I like to do is I like to grab them down there. That's not what he was saying. He was just joking around saying, yeah, they let you do anything, even grab them by the P word. That's what he was saying. But the left and the Democrats on the left ran with it and brainwashed people into thinking, oh, yeah, he was admitting that he likes to just go around grabbing women down there. That's not what happened.
And I've heard Sam Harris speak on this, saying that Trump would go into underage beauty pageant changing rooms and ogle at the children to use Sam's verbiage.
Okay, so you didn't have proof that he was on the Epstein logs. When did you hear Sam Harris make this claim about Trump going into beauty pageants?
When he had a debate with Ben Shapiro with I think it was with Blair White, I believe, or
what year was that?
I believe it was before the election. It was definitely before the election.
Before the 2020 election?
No, it was before this previous election. Well,
okay.
That Sam Harris thing.
By the way, isn't Sam Harris Trump deranged?
Mentioned that before, but it wasn't until rumors.
What proof did you have that Donald? What proof did you have before the 2020 election that Donald Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual actions with children? What proof did you have before the 2020 election?
Well, the being civilly liable for sexual assault.
When was he found civilly liable for sexual assault? Before the 2020 election?
Well, there was still a lot of valid evidence pointing at
what evidence? What evidence? I asked you that question specifically. So far, you've
sound civilly liable for children. No, Even in that bogus grape case or whatever against E. Jean Carroll, is that who it was? That wasn't an underage woman. That wasn't an underage girl, I should say. That wasn't an underage girl. That was a full-grown woman. He's never found civilly liable for anything inappropriate with children.
You've responded with things that you didn't learn about until after the 2020 election. I'll ask you again, what evidence do you have specifically that suggested that Donald Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children prior to the 2020 election?
Wait, hang on a second, Rob. I don't know why I'm on trial here right now. The reason for this conversation.
I'll ask the question to you again.
It seems like a trial because you don't know how to answer the question. The thing is, it started off with X over here questioning Rob, but Rob answered the question and he answered it right away. And so now he's doing a back and forth. Now it feels like you're on trial, but it feels on trial because you can't answer the question. You are in the hot seat, and it's the hot seat because you're feeling hot, and you're feeling hot because you're feeling uncomfortable, because you're now being confronted with your bullshit beliefs.
I've given you large swaths of time to talk uninterrupted. It seems that that's quite generous. I'll ask you the question specifically because the point we're getting to is you made a conscious decision in 2020 to vote for someone who, in your own words, you knew engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children. Now, unless you could prove that Trump did the same, it would seem like you're a fucking monster. So I again ask you, give me the proof that you had prior to the 2020 election that Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children.
You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that I knew that he had engaged in
I'll ask you the question again. You can try to equivocate. We'll go back to the tape after you're off. You absolutely said it's the reason that now does everyone understand why I demanded he answer that question like 15 times and he wouldn't? Because I told you what he would do. He would say, no, no, no. He would change his answer once we got to the punchline. Yep. So he said outright, after asking him about 15 times, he finally answered and said, yes, Joe Biden engaged in, I believe Joe Biden engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children. Great. Now we got that. He's just saying he voted for the lesser of two evils. Well, then you would have to be able to articulate that Donald Trump also engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children during that 2020 election, which is why you chose to vote for Biden. Unless you want to argue that the other things that Trump did were worse than engaging in inappropriate sexual activity with children. So I again get back to the question that he's once more going to refuse to answer as soon as I ask him again. What evidence do you have that Donald Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children before the 2020 election?
I want to remind you, Rob, that I'm calling because you are playing songs. You are playing.
I'll ask again. Last chance. You're booted from the channel forever if you're incapable.
He's playing songs about Trump and Elon Musk or something. I don't know what song that he's referring to. Rob has his own set of tunes. Like I got the cool tunes, but he has his own set of tunes. So I don't know what song X is referring to, but I guess he's still so triggered by a song because Donald Trump was on Epstein Island, I guess. And that's why X here is outraged over it. It's like Timu, Mike Shinoda, Rafael Gomez in his debate against Andrew Wilson, when he was outraged that they're having the how many pumps till it's grape conversation. He was like outraged. He was like, oh, do you think it's appropriate? Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think that's okay? And so X over here had to call in and try to lecture Rob Noerr because he got offended over his song. Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's all right?
Of answering. What evidence do you have that Donald Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children before your vote in the 2020 election? If your answer is, I have none, but Rob, now I would like to make a point against you. By all means, say that. Perfectly reasonable.
The rumors of him going into the beauty pageant changing rooms.
Rumors.
Who did you said you heard those from Sam Harris?
Yeah.
After the election, on his debate with Blair Light after the 2020 election.
Yeah, and I just remembered, isn't Sam Harris the guy that said, I don't care if Hunter Biden had like bodies in it, like kids' bodies in his basement or something like that, he would have still voted for Trump or something? Like, that is wild. That's the same guy who said that. Why should we take him seriously?
That's when it was confirmed. And I know various news stories, and I know none of them were verified until after the 2020 election. But Rob, let me remind you that the reason I'm calling is because you're playing songs about Trump even after he was already verified to be engaging in this inappropriate behavior. You're playing songs about him. I'm
He's
remaining
verified.
neutral, and I'm
He's
condemning it as
neutral.
well. But you're doing the complete opposite, and that's the reason for this conversation at the moment. Not me and why I voted, or it's nothing personal with me. It's about what's currently going on, and you shielding your eyes, and not only shielding your eyes, but you're actually still playing songs, making light of the situation.
Not making light of the situation. I do not believe that Donald Trump engaged in inappropriate sexual activity with children. I'll repeat it. There's no evidence of such. You just have the word of Elon Musk, who I'm sure you would have never believed before today if he said other things. Do you believe when Elon Musk says that there were billions upon billions of dollars of waste? A simple yes, no will suffice.
Do I believe Elon Musk when he says that there was billions of dollars of waste
that he found? Yes. Do you believe him?
Yeah, it's not trillions.
Okay, yes.
It's not trillions. Some billions.
Okay, so great. You do believe it. So you believe everything Elon Musk says, regardless if he provides you evidence?
No, that's not what I said. I said that there is evidence to say that he did find some billions of dollars worth of funding.
Nonetheless, then I refine my question. The reason I asked that question was I assumed you would say no. I'm not believing that all the waste that Elon Musk claimed was actual waste. Most Democrats would say that, or most people that dislike Trump. I'm happy to hear that you are saying that every single thing Elon Musk claimed that he found is waste that you believe. Great, good to hear that. Nonetheless, so you don't believe some of the stuff he said. Why not?
What I think, and I don't know why I'm on trial here, but I do believe that he found some waste. Maybe not the billions that he's claiming.
That's not the question. I'll ask you again. Now you're doing equivocating. Do you believe when Elon Musk, every time he said, even if he doesn't show you evidence, when he said that he saw signs of waste? Yes or no? That'll suffice. If your answer is, I don't believe all of it, so no, fine. That could be your answer. You could say, no, I don't believe him every single thing that he said. I do believe he probably found something, but I'm not taking him at face value of everything he said. Why am I better at arguing your position than you? Why are you incapable of answering yes or no?
I know, right? Hey, Rob, just add yourself over here to this screen and just debate yourself at this point. It would actually be much better than this guy right here.
No questions.
That's exactly what I said, that he may have found some millions, some billions. I don't take his full word. And I think it's a
great. Last question. Why do you take his full word when it comes to your interpretation that what he said means that Donald Trump sexual assaulted children?
Because I don't think this... I've tried to accept the possibility that this could all be just, theater, just in a way.
Or just Elon Musk just being a scorned woman, acting like a woman scorned, like a jilted ex-lover, and just throwing out wild accusations like a woman would do to try to smear his ex-lover, Donald Trump. Like, that's what it comes off as. It could be that too. Elon Musk is pissed off at that bill. And, they had some back and forth, and now he's like a scorned lover, scorned ex-lover. He's throwing out wild accusations. That could be it too. I think that's what it is.
Way to gain some clout. But no, I mean, there's no way this is made up. And I don't think Elon.
There's no way this is made up.
Without,
so I don't think Elon would make a claim about waste if it wasn't 100% true. Why do you think he would make that claim that's not 100% true?
Because he's trying to set face for his whole Doge fiasco. He's trying to claim as much as he can. But I think he found some, not as much as he says, because a lot of it.
Can I tell you what it seems?
Opinion, like what you think what is not.
Can I tell you what it sounds like you're doing? It sounds like you're conveniently saying, when it's against my side, I don't trust what Elon Musk says, but when it benefits my side, I do trust what Elon Musk says. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like you're doing.
Yep.
No, I'm trying to be fair here.
I mean, you're not at all.
No, you're not.
So because I'm saying that there's a chance that the 175 billion that he says he saved is not, that I'm not fully on board with that, because like I said, it is a lot. What fraud what constitutes fraud
What
is
does
really
this
based
answer
off
have to do with anything?
opinion.
What does this answer have to do with anything?
What constitutes
If
as
you,
waste?
let's get to brass tacks. Let's ask this question. If Elon Musk came out today and said, "Look, I'm mad at Trump, but I'll tell you this: I looked at the Epstein files and Trump's not on it anywhere," would you say good enough for me? I believe him. Would you say that?
No, because there's already some evidence pointing, the flight logs. There's some evidence already pointing the fact that they were partying in the past. There's already some evidence that points towards that
So
being a reality.
you completely trust Elon Musk when he says Trump bad, but you would not completely trust him if he says Trump good. In the exact same circumstances, providing the exact same evidence, which is none.
When it's added, when it's in combination with the previous rumors, or not just rumors, there's actual footage of this, and there's actual documentation of this in combination with Elon's word, it definitely does make it more valid.
What if what Elon's word is just, those photos that we've seen before with him with Epstein and the flight log that he was on a plane one time, but he didn't go to his island. What if that's all that's in the files? Is that still enough proof for you that Donald Trump sexually assaulted children?
Ask that again. If he's actually on those files, is that
you said that you were already aware of evidence with Donald Trump's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. You said it was some photos we've seen with him with Epstein at a party, and that I'm assuming you're sort of mealy-mouthed about it, but I'm assuming you're talking about claims that he was one time on Epstein's plane where he rode Epstein's plane to another airport and not to Epstein Island. It would be entirely accurate if Musk said Trump was in the Epstein files, that it could just be those two things. If it is just those two things, is that enough proof for you that Donald Trump sexually assaulted children?
What would convince you, Rob? Do you actually need him actually having intercourse?
I noticed that wasn't an answer to the question, as you want to do throughout this entire conversation.
And by the way, it seems like all you need to be convinced that Donald Trump was there is just someone just needs to tell you that. Elon Musk, who you don't even fully trust, all he has to do is just say, "Oh yeah, he was on those files," and that's all you needed. That's all you needed to hear.
Ask you again the question instead of trending to some non sequitur. If all that's in those files is what we already knew, that he was on a plane once and that there was a picture of him taken at a party with Epstein, is that enough proof to you that Donald Trump sexually assaulted children? A yes, no will suffice, and then I'll give you a chance to expound, as I have every time.
I think it would be difficult to actually have footage of him abusing children.
I noticed that once more was not an answer. This is your last chance, and then you're banned from the channel for out time. I'll ask you one more time. I didn't say, well, wait a minute, I would need this amount of proof, and you would say that's unreasonable. I asked you. You are the person that says that you currently have evidence, that you are convinced that Donald Trump sexually assaulted children. It seemed to be that it was because of what Elon Musk said. Now you're saying, well, the reason I believe Elon was because publicly available evidence. I say, isn't it true? Couldn't it be true that when Elon says Trump's in those files, that those files could just contain the publicly available evidence that you've already seen, which is just Trump one time took a picture with Epstein and Trump one time was on a plane with Epstein. If that's all that's in the files, would that be enough for you to say that that's proof that Donald Trump sexually assaulted a child?
It would obviously validate. It would verify that happened. It would validate that there were.
We'll give you one more chance. Damn. This is it.
Rob being very generous.
Around. I don't want you here. Well, it would validate that one time Trump did meet Epstein. It would validate that. You made a definitive claim that you are convinced that you've seen evidence that Donald Trump sexually assaulted a child. Do you think if the evidence in the Epstein files are merely the picture that we've all seen at a party one time with Trump with Epstein and Trump flying on a plane one time with Epstein, is that enough proof for you that Donald Trump sexually assaulted a child? Yes or no? This is it. If the first fucking word out of your mouth isn't yes or no, you're gone forever.
I didn't make that claim, by the way. Okay, Rob, you're arguing against a position.
Damn.
It's real simple. He says, I've seen the proof. I've seen the proof that Donald Trump sexually assaulted children. Really? What's the proof? Didn't you hear what Musk said? Yeah, Musk just said, why do you believe Musk? Well, because I've seen other evidence. Okay, well, what if that's the only evidence and that's what Musk is talking about? Well, what would it require, Rob? You to see video evidence? No, it's not the question. You're making the claim. This guy's claim is, Rob, you're a monster because now we definitively know that Trump sexually assaulted a child. We know it. And yet you put a song out making light of the fact that Trump and Elon are fighting. What's your proof? He can't give proof.
Dang. Rob Noerr is a beast. Absolute beast. I urge you once again to subscribe to his channel, Normal America with Rob Noerr. He is a beast, and he deserves more subscribers and viewerships. But I've been really digging Rob Noerr a lot more lately. I've been really digging Rob Noerr a lot more lately because he has just had enough. He is fed up with these lefties. I think just like all of us have, we are suffering from lefty fatigue. We are fatigued. We are exhausted. We've had enough. We've had enough of your hypocrisy. We have enough of your destruction. We're fatigued. Okay, we're fatigued. And Rob Noerr is letting these lefties know straight to their faces. It's highly enjoyable. Good job, Rob Noerr. If you want to see more content like this, once again, I urge you to subscribe to his channel. There should be no reason why I have more subscribers than Rob. So subscribe to his channel. I also have videos covering Rob's debates, so check those out as well. Subscribe to my channel as well. Give this video a like if you liked it. And I'll see you guys later.